Friday, October 17th, and it's great to have you here on Damon Bruce Plus. It's great to have Sam Batesh of Thinking Out Loud with Siciliano and Sam coming to us live from ESPN Los Angeles. He's covering that NHL ice like only a Samboni can. Don't worry, we won't be talking any hockey today.
No,
we
it's not going to happen.
Watch this show. We're going to be talking a lot of 49ers. We're going to be talking week 7. We got ourselves a very interesting weekend coming up. Starting tonight, we got Cal and North Carolina over in Berkeley. Bill Belichick is in Northern California, which means Jordan Hudson is here as well. Very exciting time in the Bay. Sammy, great to see you, brother. How are you?
I'm so excited, Damon. It's so good to be here. And yeah, sure, a little hockey, but really last night kicked off can we say it's week 7? Now, here's the thing. Sometimes I get excited that it's week 7, and then I realize I'm actually just sad about it. This is going a little too fast. It's going a little too fast for my liking, Damon. I really, we're losing. These weeks are precious, and I understand that Jillian and Allie feel differently about this, but for you and I, this is prime real estate that we don't want to give up.
Exactly. Yeah. I've never been the person at the baseball game saying, I wish they could really wrap this up in under 2.5 hours so I can get out of here as fast as possible. Let me linger in it. Let me enjoy things as it's happening. And obviously enjoying the 49ers has been quite a wave to ride so far this year. We will get into all the things that are setting up this very interesting Falcons game here, but thank you very much for being here. Hit like and subscribe. It's going to push this video across the YouTube algorithm, which we always love to see happen. We always love to see you come on into Ike's for a sandwich at lunchtime. I want you to think of Ike's beyond lunch. I want you to think of Ike's as a little something to take home for dinner when you're out there. And by the way, my man is turning 18 years old. This October 31st is a sandwich restaurant. I hope there's one opening near you soon. I know for a fact you're going to love Ike's when you bite into one for the very first time. Check it out. Our man Ike, huge sponsor here, as are our friends at the Dubliner West Portal. If you can't be with me, co-streaming on the Blues for Sunday night, get yourself to the Dubliner to watch a little 49ers and Falcons. We've got the World Series starting soon enough. We've got Warriors basketball starting soon enough. So the Dubliner is just there waiting for you on West Portal. Make sure you check them out. And I really want you to check out Sleeper. Sleeper right now, the best way to experience and connect over sports together, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. Think about that as, the fastest scores, news, alerts, right at your fingertips there with Sleeper fantasy leagues. You can win real money with the picks contest. And I'm telling you, I think I'm laying off the game. Player totals is what I'm looking for this weekend as well. I want you to check it out over on Sleeper. Use promo code Damon, which is in the link of the description of this very video that you're watching right now. Use promo code Damon when you sign up. You get a $100 deposit match when you deposit up to $100. And if you want to say, just give me a little something for free. I don't want to deposit anything before I try it out. There you go. Just a little free Sleeper action. We're throwing at you $20, no deposit necessary. Check out, download Sleeper, start playing today. Have fun and do so responsibly. All right, Sam. I think we're ready to start the show now.
We're very ready. Are we as ready as George Kittle? That's what I want to know.
That's the question right there. Life is timing, right? Isn't life timing? You can have the best plan in the world, but if you show up at the wrong time with the best plan in the world, it's still not going to be implemented. Now, I don't know if George Kittle is going to be, completely ready to go. He's been limited in practice. I don't know how many snaps they can really ask out of him. I don't know the right way to deploy him, either as a weapon, a decoy, or as a blocker. His hamstring is not all the way back, but he's going to be out there. And in the life is timing category, the timing couldn't be better, Sam. I mean, the Daubers been down ever since losing Bosa a game and then Fred Warner. George Kittle is exactly the guy you want in the room, bringing up the entire room. This man is a WWE superstar masquerading as a future Hall of Fame tight end, and he is exactly what the Niners Dauber needs right now, Sam.
Life of the party, George Kittle. You said it. Who's a more likable dude than George Kittle? George Kittle, who doesn't play for your team, you still like this guy, right? There aren't people around the country rooting for other teams that say, wow, I really hate George Kittle. For some reason, the likability meter is just pinging all the way into the red with George Kittle. And he is going to infuse life into a very, frankly, somber situation. We can say that. Not only is there a loss coming up that game, But on top of it, and by the way, I don't want to say that game was not, it was very close and in the balance, but it also never gave us the sense, that Bucs game, that the Niners were going to win it. There wasn't really a point in that game where I thought Niners are going to win this game. Tampa felt in control throughout that game, even though Baker Mayfield was throwing to everybody except, again, no Bucky Irving, no Abuka at some point in that game, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. Baker did it largely on his own. And again, another scrambling first down out of nowhere on a crucial third down for Baker Mayfield. Good for him. But now to have Kittle in a world in which Bosa and Warner are gone, and defensively you're thinking, what can possibly go right? Can we finally get some good news on the injury front? This is it. This is a guy that can recharge that offense. Boom. And by the way, McCaffrey is having, I just want to remind everyone, McCaffrey is having a historic season. When you look at scrimmage yards over the course of every single game this season, what you're getting out of Christian McCaffrey is every bit of what you expected and hoped for out of Christian McCaffrey. You're getting that. And you're also getting incredibly competent play from your backup quarterback. And I think you got at least 2 more games out of Mac Jones that can be wins this season.
I think it's coming too, Sam, and I think we're going to see Mac Jones this weekend. Purdy's toe hasn't looked right, and he hasn't looked right in practice. I did wake up with Kruger this morning, and he just said, it's not the time to go back to Purdy right now. And they probably aired going back to Purdy in that Jacksonville game and got him re-hurt, and that was a mistake that's pretty easy to identify and is on the table right now. But getting back to Christian McCaffrey, the running totals aren't there, but if your whole measurement of good running back play is just like, what do you do from scrimmage? This guy's a monster. As a matter of fact, we got 2 of the biggest scrimmage monsters in the sport
going at it
in this game on Sunday night. You got Bijan Robinson, who's 822 yards from scrimmage right now. He's on pace to set a new NFL single season scrimmage yards record. Christian McCaffrey, 780. It's not like he's far off the pace, but he is doing it as a wide receiver. Christian McCaffrey right now is one of the 10 best wide receivers in all of football. Drake London is one of the 10 best wide receivers in all of football. So you got McCaffrey meeting Bijan Robinson is one of the 10 best running backs out here. You got him meeting the wide receiver saying, I'm one of the 10 best wide receivers in this league right now. And I really am looking at George Kittle coming back and maybe making this running game go a little bit better.
He's a tremendous. He is a violent blocker.
He is
not only down the field but at the line of scrimmage as well.
He can't play both guard and center positions and tight end all at the same time. I was talking about this with Kruger. I think it's time the 49ers just admit what they want to do and how historically they've done it under Shanahan really isn't who they are this year. And it's just time to go full on Mike Leach, Texas Tech air raid. We're throwing the ball 55 times. We are taking 10 runs that are going absolutely nowhere because they're being stopped behind the line of scrimmage. We're just going to subtract those negative or no net yards running plays for the potential of 10 more passing plays and what Mac might be able to do with that. I want him hunting 5 dudes in a pattern underneath all day long, Shanahan seeking space. And by the way, they're going to have to throw the ball because this is a really good Falcons defense, the number 1 defense in football in terms of yards allowed per game. They've got the number 1 rushing attack. So you're going to want to keep Atlanta off the field, and you do that by picking up third downs. And since the Niners aren't running for third downs, they better throw for them Sunday night, Sam.
Well, look, the Niners have not been afraid. Shanahan was not afraid to give Mac Jones the full playbook. I said it that in the New Orleans game, that was going to be a McCaffrey game. I thought it was going to be the big coming out party for McCaffrey, that was going to be the game. We say, wow, this is the McCaffrey, I told you, has been steady, historically steady this season, but he hasn't had a wow breakthrough game in that way. I thought New Orleans was going to be it, but no. Mac threw the ball in that game. Mac has thrown the ball in every game. He has made crucial plays. Mac Jones, how good did Mac, again, the flex in the Rams Thursday night game, right? I mean, Mac Jones is feeling himself, and he is because he's been given the entire playbook. This hasn't been, we're putting handcuffs on this offense now because Mac Jones is running it. No. This is everything is available to him through Shanahan, and that's the magic of why you're getting quality play out of Mac Jones, quality play out of this offense. You're not trimming it down. You're still confusing to defenses. Now, Atlanta, let's look at the Monday night game. Think about who the opponent is there. What they did defensively to the Bills has to be considered. And remember that Drake London is half a yard from making that another touchdown lead at halftime.
Right.
I mean, think about it. That is on the scoreboard momentarily as 27-7, and it instead becomes 21-7 because he barely steps out of bounds with no time left on the clock. Not to say it wasn't a tremendous play by the Bills who are running him down there, but he does step out of bounds barely in what is 6 points on the line in his hands diving toward the pylon. So that game also could have looked a little differently. Bijan Robinson was every bit of pure effort on his 80-yard touchdown run down the sideline. He has to break a very real tackle attempt on his way to doing that. Bijan Robinson is a real opponent. You cannot take away.
We could play that if you take that one run away, but we don't do that over here. We don't do that on this show. We don't do that on either channel. We don't play the how was your day without the single biggest impactful play that you made in it.
And why do I hear that so often? Again, we'll just get just saying out of the way right now. Just saying, Damon and I, just saying, if you are listening to a broadcast or a show on a Monday morning quarterback type show that is saying, you know what, the defense actually looked pretty good outside of the 80-yard touchdown run given up. If that's any kind of a preface to a point you're going to make, take that next point and throw it immediately in the trash can.
Just get rid of it.
Outside of one of the most special offensive plays we've seen this season, our defense played well.
I'm just saying that Sam Batesh wasn't doing Kings post game until he was.
Until I was.
Just throwing that
just
out.
Saying. I'm just throwing it out. I'm just saying.
You weren't doing it, and then you got hired, so now you're doing it.
So now I'm doing it.
If you weren't doing it still, you wouldn't be doing it.
Outside of doing Kings talk, this guy isn't talking hockey at all. Okay, what are you saying? Outside of the season that Cam Newton took the Panthers to the Super Bowl and was the MVP of the entire NFL, what's this guy's career? You talk about one-hit wonder, Damon? Yeah, Bijan Robinson, maybe he had a one-hit wonder in that game. It was the difference in the game. It gave him the confidence for everything he needed to do outside of that. And when you hear, again, even on a baseball broadcast, other than that tough fifth inning, what a great the other team scored 4 runs and won the game in that tough inning. When you're a professional player, you have to avoid the tough play, the one big play, the splash inning. No. Right. That cannot happen.
Other than giving up those home runs to Pablo Sandoval, Verlander pitched great tonight. Great game. Congrats. Let's just eliminate those things that happen to make all the difference in the world. Just saying, enough of that kind of commentary. So we're getting just saying out of the way early today.
That's it. I have to, yes, because we're gonna get to the Halloween. We're gonna get to Halloween Niners decorations, but just saying was too good right there.
Halloween's over. Yeah, it's over.
Look at it. That is a win. That is a contest win.
Is over. You should show up to this person's house and give this person candy. This person shouldn't have to leave their house.
It is so gloriously done. And look, think about the foresight that goes into this. And of course, look, the team has to be in the state that it's in for this to even matter. Right. But it is, what's great about it is it requires no explanation. If you are a Niners fan at all, you understand. If you're an NFL fan at all, you understand what's happening to the 49ers. And it's not just, what's great about it is it's not just this season. Last season is largely a wash to most Niners fans because of injuries. No one's saying, oh, there was 6 wins. No, everyone's saying McCaffrey was injured. Ayuk was injured. That's what it comes down to. Those are the conversations that I had. Purdy missed the game. He was injured. And now this season, is it worse this season? Think about that. Last season is defined by injuries, Damon.
Right.
Can we just quickly have a debate? Is this season from an injury standpoint worse than last season? It's we're through 6 weeks. Is it worse?
Even if it is from a volume standpoint and from a season ending injury standpoint to future Hall of Famers, Christian McCaffrey's still healthy, which means you're better off this year than you were last year. And obviously it doesn't matter who the quarterback or who the wide receivers are on this team. The 49ers, and you want to talk about, make sense of your football season. By the way, congratulations to this family in Alameda. You have won Halloween. That's Fred Warner in the blue tent, Ayuk, Bosa, Pearsall, all on crutches. You got Kittle with the wig on in the foreground of the picture. Just outstanding all the way around. Halloween.
It's so well done. It's so well done. It's so well thought out. And again, that's not technically a costume for somebody. That is obviously a house decoration, but that deserves a best costume vote for what goes into that. It is what you're supposed to do with Halloween. That makes a difference. The only thing I've seen better than that, Damon, is, now this is going back a ways, but remember when the Vikings had the boat party?
Yes.
When that was the Culpepper team back then, but they were all, there was this huge scandal that all the Vikings went on basically a sex party boat, right? It was the Love Boat
crew.
The Love Boat.
Minnetonka crew.
Yes.
That's the Minnetonka, baby.
I showed up at a Halloween party and there were 6 dudes in their Vikings gear, in like snorkeling gear as if they were on a boat, and they had the captain's hat. It was well done. It was timed well with the news, and it was well done. This one, though, bravo. In fact, you tweeted, my favorite tweet that I saw was the new Niners logo that it's the handicap symbol within the 49ers logo. You tweeted it out.
There you go. Look at that. Put it in the press release.
Maybe that goes with the gold mat helmets, right? Maybe the gold mat helmets are they're different for 2 different reasons. Now, look, I don't mean to laugh, but it's appropriate for what's happening. And we don't really assign blame to injuries. It's hard to do that, but something is happening over the course of 2 seasons.
Riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this. So the 49ers haven't had any steady quarterback play with the revolving door right there. Yet Mac Jones has been like 350 yards of offense just rolling out of bed no matter what. We know that this team doesn't protect its quarterback very well, Mac or Purdy, getting hit way too often, far too often. There is no running game suggesting there'll be any balance to the way the defense has to respect this team. There's certainly not a single fast wide receiver wearing a uniform for the 49ers. You know, if Ricky Pearsall's not out there, you got some slow-moving Kendrick Bourne, who, by the way, for a moment and don't tell me crazy things can't happen, because in this year, I've seen the Bourne game, I've seen the Jake Tongas game. Things that aren't supposed to happen are happening around the Niners, to the point where they're 291 and a half passing yards leads the NFL. How can you, with a backup quarterback, no starting wide receivers, depth chart everywhere, and an underperforming line and no running game, be leading the league in anything? You missed one other thing. Kittle, for the first time in his career, has missed 5 games in a row. How about that? How is this even happening? The math on that does not make sense. And so let's please get ahead of Ehrenberg and anybody else. Can we put this on the resume as a line? This could be at the top of the Kyle Shanahan resume. This is as impressive as anything we've seen for a team that is 4-2 and in the driver's seat for the NFC West with those weapons. It's something else. Stop it. It's really something else. I'm so impressed. John says, Damon, you sold me on Larry's show. Wake up earlier this morning when you said they should have done 2 things months ago. Put Robinson in the backfield and get CMC in the flank. That's the thing. You cannot get Christian McCaffrey beat up with meaningless carries. No. And I'm not saying I want Brian Robinson to be the arbiter of meaningless carries, but if somebody's got to get hit behind the line of scrimmage, better him than McCaffrey. But wait a second. Here's the beauty of Brian Robinson. And frankly, Saquon Barkley does this. When you're elite, you take quote unquote meaningless carries and you're able to sidestep and turn it into something. A great running back in this league, a hole is designed, that hole closes, you shift focus, and you have quote unquote vision down the field to understand where else you can bounce a play out. Brian Robinson is a starting running back for a team that was in the NFC Championship last season. Brian Robinson is capable of making special. Do you understand how great Brian Robinson has been his whole career? Do you understand, like, in every other, like, where Brian Robinson was in his career to get to this point, to be the second best running back on the Niners now, but to be a starting running back in the NFL? Do you understand how good you have to be? You do have to be really good, but do you understand how absolutely what an empty cup he has been since show? I mean, he has not done. He was the trade I was excited about. Yes. To the guy who I don't even think should be playing. Now the protection hasn't been great, but he's done nothing. He has been thoroughly the walking definition of unimpressive since putting on a 49er uniform. But to your point, Shanahan also doesn't love using the guy that's not named Christian McCaffrey. There is something to scheming up for Brian Robinson, and I would love to see that. Because if Raheem Mostert can be a superstar in this offense, then Brian Robinson can be. That's it. Raheem Mostert is an NFC Championship MVP level player with Kyle Shanahan, and we can turn something out of Brian Robinson. That's going to happen. Brian Robinson is going to have a play, is going to make a difference. And again, if he's got to eat what you said are the meaningless yards, which really just means the more brutal between the tackle yards, then let's just keep that up. Well, and look, maybe Kittle makes it all easier. Maybe Kittle really is the piece of the puzzle that makes the puzzle fit together a little bit better. And it's not just about the dauber being up and the emotional bounce, but the physical difference making that Kittle will make for this team on the line of scrimmage. Look, bouncy Hall of Famers.
Yes.
Are always great to get back into the mix. And Kittle is a very bouncy Hall of Famer in terms of how he plays, how he acts, the attitude that he brings up, the freedom that I think the coaches have to go deeper into their playbook with a guy like that there. And again, this could be one of those games where the Niners need to steal a possession. You know, they're not doing it with turning the ball over or forcing turnovers.
Well, and again, and let's look at one of the losses. I mean, the Jaguars are leading the league in that department. Yeah. Turning the ball over on defense makes no one had the Jaguars as a team to watch this season. And defensively, I don't think anyone had them on the radar. And that's what they are doing. The difference in this league is holding on to the ball and creating turnovers. Look, people don't love Jalen Hurts, but the entire crux of that offense became Jalen, just don't turn the ball over.
You know, that's any bride is beautiful on her wedding day. Yep. Any defense that is turning the ball over the way that the Jaguars are is going to be beautiful no matter what. No matter what their shortcomings are. You turn the ball over like that, you're gorgeous as a defense. And
that's how they beat the Chiefs. It's how they beat the Niners. It's how they're winning games. It's the big difference. We're going to see it on display again against the Rams early Sunday morning in my new favorite window. Thursday Night Football just moved to Sunday morning early. Thank you. But yes, that's
hey, diddle, the right time to be getting back George Kittle for sure. Now, in terms of overall team building, roster prognostication, number one, we haven't even seen the actual 49ers yet this year. Number two, we might not. Number three, whatever new version of the Niners they could be at the trade deadline, we'll have to get to know them when that happens. We got 18 days, Sammy, between now and the November 4th trade deadline. And I would really think that if the Niners are going to do something, they're not going to take this thing all the way to the caboose of the trade deadline. Like, I'd like to see them get a little aggressive and get it done next week if they're going to do something. But I do think we can take the New York Giants definitely now off the board as trade potential.
Yep.
And we can probably remove the Cincinnati Bengals as well, because old man Flacco walked in from Cleveland and said, don't worry, everybody. I got a white hat. I got a white horse, and I am the man who is going to save this situation for the time being. And if you're the Bengals, you're looking at it like this. We got about 6 weeks here till we might see Joe Burrow again. 6-7 weeks. If we can win 3 times in the next 6 or 7 games with Flacco holding it down, we're in this conversation. We are in this conversation. I think the possibility of a Trey Hendrickson trade came off the table with that Cincinnati win last night. That's how big of a game that was. That game, I don't think either Pittsburgh or Cincinnati is going to win a Super Bowl this year. But the team that might have traded for Trey Hendrickson that would have, maybe now won't either. That was a huge game on Thursday Night Football.
And you think, looking at it on paper heading in, wow, this game could have been something. It could have been Rodgers versus Burrow, and everyone's excited about that. And frankly, I looked at the spread and really, usually with divisional games, anything over 3.5 points, I'm starting to think, yeah, they could keep it close. They could keep it close, right? Yeah. I mean, look at what New England did to Buffalo. Look what the Giants did to the Eagles, right? I mean, these things happen week in and week out in those divisional games. But I saw this, and I'm just thinking to myself, God, the Bengals have been bad since Burrow went down. And even though they covered 14.5 in Green Bay in a game where, yes, it was kept close and interesting by Flacco, I still thought, you know what? The Steelers are great early in a season, and they tend to wear out later in a season. This is going to be one of those Steelers establishing who they are type of games. Right. And early on, it looked like that. And Flacco, who got to shake hands with Rodgers after the game and say, you know what? I've never beaten you, dude. And yet it happened as a Bengal. Now, I want to know from you, Damon, what do you think of what Tomlin said about the idea that the Browns traded Flacco within the division, which at first I thought was going to be a favor for Pittsburgh because Flacco wasn't going to have much left in the tank. And now turns in that Tomlin spoke those words into existence, and it did, in fact, come back, not to bite him, but to beat him. I mean, what he thought might happen actually happened. He was upset because he knew Flacco was a real opponent and probably better than Browning. And that certainly turned out to be the case.
First of all, it's time that the entire world put some respect on Joe Flacco's name.
Yes.
The situation that he just stepped into, and you could say, it really doesn't take a freaking genius to be like, I'm just going to throw every single football I have in my hand to Jamar Chase. That's what he did. He's like, Jamar.
Browning couldn't do it.
Just targeting the shit out of the guy and let him do the work. By the way, was it T. Higgins last night who kept it inbounds and went down and made a eventual timeout get burnt? Smartest play of the football season you will see being made by a wide receiver. That was a very impressive moment. And at the end of that game, does anybody make you hold their breath during a Hail Mary more than Aaron Rodgers? I don't care how old Aaron Rodgers is. If Aaron Rodgers is corking one out to about 60 yards into the end zone, hold your breath.
He's number one. Nobody has multiple Hail Marys the way that Rodgers done. He's done multiple Hail Marys in the same game. So that just tells you how good he is at that. The trajectory with which he gets the ball to its highest point and how it comes down for his receivers. He is scientific about it like nobody else. And even though Jaden Daniels has the most recent one that we really know was completed, what Rodgers does in that situation, you're right, hold your breath. But for Flacco to be the one with the last laugh in that game was so surprising. And as much as you said the Bengals are alive in this division, what it did for me is it slid the Steelers. I already don't love the Steelers long-term. We probably don't love this division long-term at the moment, but I want to remind everybody, yes, Cincinnati's alive, and if Burrow comes back, it's very real. I also want to say, Ravens, it does not look good. The record is not there. It looks over. However,
a lot of football left
for a division where nobody has the Steelers as the absolute wrecking ball. So the fact that the Steelers are leading this division is not putting fear in the rest of those teams. Everyone is alive in that division technically, but most alive, and do not forget about them. If Lamar Jackson, I understand, I hate putting those two letters together, I and F, but we expect after the bye that Lamar Jackson will be back. And remember, it's not as if Lamar Jackson was playing injured and inefficiently. Lamar Jackson was playing well and got hurt. Right. So healthy Lamar Jackson is somebody who's going to be back on the field. And when that happens, the Ravens are winning this division. I just want to say it again. The Ravens are winning this division. I don't think the league moves that fast off of things. And if you ask me right now to take a ticket for AFC champion and I could take Bills, Chiefs, Ravens versus Field, that's what I'm taking.
I would take Bills, Chiefs, Ravens over Field. Absolutely. Sure. That would be an easy bet right now. Who crashes the party? Jacksonville, maybe.
Indy.
Their 5-game losing streak will happen.
Yes.
It's coming, dude. They're going to lose 4 in a row at one point because that's what the Colts always do.
And even if the Colts host a playoff game and wind up in a divisional round, I just don't see them winning a game on the road. Can I see the Colts winning in Kansas City divisional weekend? Can I see them winning in Buffalo divisional weekend? Can I see them winning? And at this point, they would host Baltimore most likely, but could I see them winning in Baltimore? And frankly, could I see Baltimore going in there and smashing them in a divisional game? Absolutely. We'll take the franchise back. Thank you very much. Yes.
Well, week 7 began with Joe Flacco telling everyone, look, I don't know if I'm elite or not, but I'm pretty freaking good.
I'm pretty good. And again, I'm the guy that bet on myself and gained a contract. And by the way, in the season I bet on myself, I won. Other than this season, Joe Flacco won Super Bowl MVP, Damon. What's he really done?
Yeah. Other than one of the greatest postseason runs any quarterback has ever had, 11.
Other than out-dueling Peyton Manning in Denver in double overtime, right? I mean,
right. That guy
deserves credit, respect on his name, and he's also become a social media darling as like Flacco Dad. Basically, that's become like this whole new moniker for him.
He gets to live in a world where he doesn't have to answer a Shador Sanders question no one's going to come up to him about Jake Browning nipping at his heels.
It's irrelevant. And what he did with Jamar Chase, how about the face he made when Jamar Chase dropped one right over the middle, right? And it's just he's like I haven't seen this guy drop a pass yet in practice or in a game, and he just dropped one.
And I'm telling you too, there's got to be a part of Flacco, right? I mean, look. You don't survive in this league as long as he has without being a truly want to be out there playing competitor. At the same time, you got to kind of at Joe Flacco's age know that the sun will set on this season before it's over because the guy who is going to get healthy and come back is indisputably the face of the franchise. Nothing that you even have to worry about. So you got like 6 more days at the office, and then you're just going to cash NFL checks. And it's pretty good to be Joe Flacco. It really is.
And remember, he has one of our favorite quotes of the offseason because Joe Flacco said, no, I'm not here to mentor anybody. I'm here to win a starting job. If someone wants to learn from me, I'm here for that. But I'm not here to just mentor somebody. And guess what? Who won the starting job? Joe Flacco. Who did Tomlin not want to see in Cincinnati? Joe Flacco. Who beat Aaron Rodgers on Thursday Night Football in 2025? Joe Flacco. Congratulations.
By the way, Tuba Sun God said yesterday's game brought to you by Centrum Silver.
You know what, though?
Striking a new deal with some football advertising. But look, I'm telling you, you either got a young guy you're investing in or an old guy that you still trust, because in the middle is a whole bunch of might never will be's and maybe nots. Who knows?
There's plenty of stories in this league of we didn't expect it. Baker Mayfield is certainly front and center along with Daniel Jones. You got 2 quarterbacks that nobody really thought had any business playing at this level, including, we're talking about Cleveland, Joe Flacco. Baker Mayfield was essentially given up on, sent to Carolina, wins a game for the Rams on a Thursday nighter, again, that nobody expected after 3 days hanging out with Sean McVay, gets himself into Tampa, and now has Tampa in the playoffs every year that he's been there, and is right now an MVP candidate. That's the kind of shit that happens in this league, and I love watching it.
I do know for a fact that those tapping the like button have not showed up in the numbers that they need to.
Let's
go.
I
need you to tap that like button. If you would please like and subscribe to both Damon Bruce Plus and Thinking Out Loud, Siciliano and Sam. Again, week 7 already underway. Interesting games coming up on Sunday.
Oh, very.
We got Rams at Jaguars in a battle of 4-2 teams. And we find out this morning that Puka Nacua is going to be out of this game for the Rams, which honestly, on the road against that Jacksonville Jaguars defense, I might have to reset my fantasy lineup and do the unthinkable where I'm actually benching Stafford. Again, Burrow was my guy. I took him, early, got crushed there. I think I'm going with Tua this weekend. And the struggling Dolphins, I would rather have Tua and a good luck with that than a Stafford on the road against the Jaguars and no Nacua. I think I'm going to start Tua.
We just talked about Jacksonville's defense, Damon. There's no part of that you want. And I've watched enough of Stafford in crucial games as an Eagles fan, and he is going to Nacua every time he needs a play. Every time he needs a play. And remember, Kyren Williams, the fumble that he had against the Rams, now makes Kyren a little less of that option as well. He doesn't have that safety blanket, that outlet in Nacua. And when you saw that Nacua injury on Sunday, Damon, did you think the same thing I did? I mean, when you see a guy injured, get up, walk, and fall down again,
that's never good.
That's not good. That's I got it, I don't got it. That's essentially your center fielder. I got it. The sun's in my eyes. I don't got it. That's what that is. It's bad news.
That is, hey, I think my body can do. No, my body cannot do this.
This doesn't hurt that bad. Oh, wow, this hurts.
So looking at the West, we know what the Niners got coming up to wrap up Sunday night. They're the night game. It's Rams at Jaguars. It's Packers at Cardinals. And by the way, both Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. are dealing with injuries, and Jonathan Gannon has been very vague about their availability. So keep an eye on that. Raiders and Chiefs this weekend. That could be.
Well, it's been the last 3 games have been outstanding down to the wire in Kansas City. That matchup has been great in Kansas City. Look at the last 3 games. Look at the box score. Look at the Raiders leads they've had in that game. And remember 2 things.
It's one of those can't explain it, but is division rivals. So weird things happen. Sunday's game of the week. Who would have thought 5-1 Colts at 4-2 Chargers? Okay, sure.
Love everything about that. I do love everything about that game.
Apparently the Chargers will be randomly selecting fans to come out and play running back for them throughout the game. So that should be fun.
The fact that the Rams signed the Chargers signed Najee Harris and he blows a firework in his eye. It's just, I don't believe in bad luck or like curses for franchises per se. But if that isn't the most that's Mo Vaughn falling in the dugout when he gets the big contract for the Angels. I mean, that's that bad.
Who is that with the Colorado Rockies cutting his trimming some venison after
it was Trevor Story, right?
Trevor Story.
Yes.
It was. How'd you hurt yourself? Well, I fell up the stairs carrying a bag of groceries or something ridiculous.
That sounds like a 911 call on Forensic Files. My wife is injured. I don't know what happened. And then 6 months later, you pushed your wife down the stairs, sir. Sorry, you're going to jail. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Sit down right over there.
Yeah.
Scott Hansen is here.
We have some more questions for you, sir.
The game only a mother could love, or if you're starting Tua, the 1-5 Dolphins at 1-5 Browns. Good luck to Andrew Siciliano trying to make that game.
And he does, and he's quite used to it. And frankly, the Browns defensively early in the season looked like they were going to be an issue. And Myles Garrett is going to put up spectacular numbers again, and they can be a very real opponent week to week, but it has not been great so far.
We got a double Monday nighter. Bucks at Lions, and then the final NFC West team will be playing Texans at Seahawks. If you're a Niner fan, you got to be thinking, go Houston there all the way. You want Seattle to lose at home, and the Houston Texans have a very good defense. What are you going to get out of them today? Level offense, though. We do not know.
The offense has been bad outside of one game. And you know me, I don't like eliminating a game, but I'll just say that when the season started, it was easy to say that Houston had the worst and most disappointing offense in this league.
Well, they haven't had Nico Collins for very much. They've let Tank Dell is
correct
not out there at all. So yeah, they're kind of a mess. But man, they got a defense, and we got a double Monday night game. Bucks at Lions. Dude, that's a little bit of a heavyweight fight.
So it's nice. It's a rematch from 2 seasons ago, divisional round, in which Baker was very game for that. And then remember last season, the Lions for a while had one loss, right? I mean, and it was the Bucks. In a game that the Lions really out yarded them. The Bucks came to play for revenge on what had happened to end their season a year before. And Baker is absolutely in that game. But coming off the loss, the way Detroit is with the Kansas City loss from Sunday night, there's part of me that feels the Lions are it's a get right. It could be a Bucks don't have their weapons, and this is the game where the world kind of levels out.
Yeah, I think that the sky could fall a little bit there for sure. And again, whenever you got Dan Campbell,
doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
Sorry, Sam.
I wanted to just say, Cardinals are fascinating to me. Can I say that the most inexplicable game of last weekend would have been had the Cardinals beaten the Colts in that game with Jacoby Brissett starting? I do not know what to get week to week.
They had a 4th and ball game. They had a 4th and take the lead on 4th and goal late in that game, and it was an incomplete pass.
The Cardinals we know are going to put a thorn in the Niners at some point this season. We know that. That's all. Every season's got one of those. Kyler just unnecessarily, and it almost happened. I mean, they walked him off with a field goal, but there's another one of those games coming, and we could see something out of Kyler. But they got to get on the same page. I think Gannon is a great coach. I have a little bit, of course, Eagles love for Gannon. He was on the staff that lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs 2 seasons ago and then got the head coaching job. And I thought he was trending in the right direction with what's going on there. But if he doesn't get on the same page with his quarterback, I don't know what's going to go on with this team. And I just, he made a really he just made the wrong comment to end his press conference this past week and referenced when he was in Atlanta when Michael Vick got arrested. You know, someone said, how do you deal with adversity? And he says, yeah, how about if your quarterback gets arrested? And he just walked off. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. Yes, that is adversity. Maybe not the right tone for that conversation, but this is getting.
Here's the thing. It's really hard to say that the coach will survive over the player, but Kyler Murray this is year 7. And it's either going to happen or it ain't. And there's talent there for sure, but putting it together, work ethic questioned, studying question. I mean, this is it for Kyler Murray. I don't think Jonathan Gannon's going anywhere. This guy's a good coach. You're the Cardinals, and you're either going to do something right now, or I think it's time to start thinking about pushing a reset button.
Are we jump the shark level since the Hail Murray? Are we jump the shark at the Hail Murray? I mean, really what has happened for the Cardinals since that moment? I mean, what a play to DeAndre Hopkins, right? In that game against the Bills at this point 4 seasons ago. But what a play that was. That was sort of the height of this Kyler magic. Remember that team, did that team go 10-0? And then again, and then let the Rams ended up winning the division. The Rams beat the crap out of them in the wild card. It was a Monday nighter the year the Rams won the Super Bowl. But that team was trending with Cliff Kingsbury, and Kyler was getting so much out of Kingsbury, and you thought, this is it. And I want to remind everybody this. Perhaps some of the reason that Kyler Murray looked the part so much is because of how bad Josh Rosen was. Do you remember how stunning it was that they took a quarterback with their first-round pick back-to-back seasons that way?
He was not chosen.
Not at all chosen. I mean, the Rosen thing is ugly. I mean, the Rosen, again, even Shanahan couldn't get it right with Rosen. Rosen is just that one is a full-blown exploding bust.
Multi-millionaire, bang the ball in a hot tub at UCLA. Respect.
Way to go, Josh Rosen. Congrats. And again, you've done more than anyone in the comments and more than Damon and I on a football field for sure. And you were every bit of who's going to be the number one pick. He's in that conversation. Think about that. Baker Mayfield in a draft that sees Baker, Darnold, Rosen, Josh Allen, and Lamar drafted in the first round. Rosen. It went Baker, Darnold, Allen, Rosen, Lamar. I mean, just think about that. And that's why the next season when Arizona said, reset, we're going Kyler, Kyler backed up their decision in the early years. Kyler backed it up.
I'll tell you what, too. You know who he just proved? Kyler Murray, to me, is as big of a Rorschach test for, at the time, the Oakland A's as it was the Arizona Cardinals. The fact that the Oakland A's would go ahead and draft a guy knowing I'm transferring to Oklahoma where I'm going to try to win a Heisman Trophy. And they're still that's still the guy that they take. That's just, you know what that was? That was strategic. That was John Fisher saving money. That was John Fisher saying, draft the one guy who I'll never have to pay.
Don't have to pay him a dime.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that was a part of it. By the way, just looking at who ain't going this weekend, some impactful injuries here in Week 7. Terry McLaurin's going to miss his 4th straight week with the Commanders. Debo also questionable this week.
Oh, you love that. You love that when Debo shows up on it, right? The mystery Debo is your favorite.
Mystery Debo. Oh, here's the thing, though. Debo has been carrying my fantasy team. I could use him out there.
Yep.
Cowboys are going to be without cornerback Trayvon Diggs on Sunday. This could be a venison grocery cart situation. A home accident has left him in concussion protocol. What do you think Trayvon Diggs banged his head on, Sam?
I mean, he's not tall enough that I'm gonna. It's not a doorway, garage door. How about the garage door? Garage door. I'm gonna say a garage door closing incident. How about that?
Let me tell you, man. We had a garage door hiccup here.
Oh.
A garage door hiccup in the house. And after several weeks of what is wrong with this? How come this isn't working? I changed the battery, and it's amazing what an upgrade my garage door got with a battery upgrade. When in doubt, kids, plug it in, unplug it, and plug it back in. It's good.
There you go. That's a good reset. That's as good as getting Murray after Josh Rosen. That's a great reset.
Very strong. It's a good, strong reset right there. Let me tell you, the other big piece of news from the world of football does not come from the NFL this week, but happens to come from Bloomington, Indiana. And I just, if
celebrate it, please
indulge me for a moment.
I'm every bit of celebrating with you right now.
Do you realize everything that has happened with Kirk Cignetti here? The Indiana becoming an emerging college football superpower, the number one top ranking in Indiana's football. We've never been the 3rd ranked team in the nation before. Cignetti is more top 10 wins in the last month than James Franklin had in 10 years. Everyone, the minute Penn State let James Franklin go, Cignetti became a huge talking point. Just guess, Sam. How many games Kirk Cignetti has coached for Indiana so far? Where are we? Where are we in this Cignetti train?
So he's coached. Is it 20 games?
19.
All right.
He's 17-2, including an 11-1 record against Big Ten opponents. This is the greatest 19 games, not only in the history of Indiana football, but it's one of the most formative 19 games in the history of any modern or old college football. Has a coach ever signed 3 contracts in a 19-game span? There's the contract that Cignetti signed to be hired in the first place. Then last year, he signs a deal to bring him up to $8 million. Then this week, he signs a deal to bring him to one of the 3 highest paid coaches in the sport. He's making nearly $12 million a year. He's got a $98 million contract. He says he's going to retire a Hoosier. And all I can tell you is that all the jokes about Indiana never caring about football used to be real, but now, for the first time ever, it's like the very first time you try crack, you're addicted to it forever. That's why I've never tried crack. Indiana's never been addicted to football success or money. Now they are, and they can't get enough of it. And Indiana is the biggest crackhead running around the Big Ten right now going, oh, this is great. This is great. We had no idea what having a football program would do for the entire campus. Oh, my God, we're never going to let this go. It's amazing. It's the single biggest turnaround and the biggest pendulum swing in the history. No team has ever gone from you are the worst in the sport to within 20 games you are one of the darlings of the sport with a coach that everyone would come after. So he is now he's being paid like Nick fucking Saban. It's amazing, Sam.
Think about how impossible it is to consider yourself a playoff team in college football over the years. If you were irrelevant one year, to be a playoff team the next year or within 2 years used to be impossible. And of course, the expansion of the playoff makes this a different conversation, but I still want to contextualize for everyone. The history of college football says that you cannot be irrelevant and then a playoff team. It simply says that. And Indiana is firmly in that conversation. And even without the expansion of the playoff, this conversation would be happening. Think about this, right? Am I right? Without expansion, Indiana's in a conversation for playoffs.
Well, here's the thing. With or without it, they're in the conversation. Without NIL, none of this is happening.
How much money are they spending now? And is basketball, what I want to know is the basketball team going to take a hit, Damon? I mean, unless they were infused with new money, this is money that came from basketball that's now going to football.
There's more money. There's more money than first of all, football makes more money than anything all the time.
Always, except there are certain schools that it's just upside down. UCLA is one and Indiana's another.
Indiana has been one of those, but Indiana's basketball will be lifted, I think, by all this new money. It's not the other way. It's not like Peter's robbing Paul and only one of them can now be good. Indiana can be both of these things. And it is they never even thought about being good in both of these things. It wasn't available to them.
No.
Tradition college football shits on the Hoosiers. It is only in this new world that we're now living in that they have had any success. Literally, measurably, the least successful major college football program of all time is now trying to reach the college playoffs for the second season in a row. And I saw Paul Feinbaum today on ESPN say something like, no, Indiana jumped at this extension. They should not have given it to Cignetti. It's too early. What are you talking about?
Didn't he just win the greatest game in program history?
Did you need the worst program in the history of the sport to reach the college football playoffs 2 years in a row before you said the Cignetti guy is pretty good? I mean, what is Feinbaum talking about? Like, you can't maintain I'm an expert on college football and say something that stupid into a microphone. This is the easiest $98 million ever spent by a Big Ten university. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is not Oregon. It's not USC. It's not Washington. Certainly ain't Rutgers, and it ain't Penn State. Indiana is the greatest disruptor in the history of the Big Ten Conference that was never supposed to be, and now, for a time being, is. And I understand that the rug could be pulled out from underneath me at any minute. I get it.
That proof is in the conference. I mean, right. James Franklin is out of a job. So that's how quickly, right? I mean, talk about a darling of this conference to out of a job. Nobody signifies that the way James Franklin does.
As the Big Ten was considering its expansion, its growth, its revenue, its ratings, its importance, not for a single second was Indiana considered to be a part of that. Now, not only are they a part of it, they're practically leading it. And it's a new universe. It's as if we have just discovered the earth revolves around the sun, not the other way around. That we used to think it was the earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved. No. We've had it wrong this entire time. There's a new orbit, and it's amazing. It's absolutely fucking amazing what is happening. Awesome. And now they better go out and beat Michigan State this week. No stepping backwards.
No, you can't. That's what happens in college football. But again, you also gave yourself the leash here that even if you do have one stinker, you're going to be okay. You're in this conversation. You're essentially in the playoff. There are wins this program could not have dreamed of being on the right side of that have happened this season.
What is hysterical, though, is the last Big Ten team to have actually won at Autzen Stadium was Indiana. Back when Indiana was awful, like dreadful. It was a total trap game for Oregon at the end of the Bellotti era or whatever that was.
Yeah. Chip Kelly and Bellotti. Yeah, right.
It was before Kelly was installed, I think. So it was a long time ago. This was really bad Hoosiers.
Wow.
Stunned Oregon. I remember being on my buddy's couch going, are we high? Which we were.
That happened. Yeah.
But anyway, a couple of other things going on here real quick, Sammy, as we go into a fun sports weekend. We got Jordan Hudson and her North Carolina Tar Heels in Berkeley tonight taking on the Golden Bears.
So could this happen? Could this happen, Damon? Could this really happen? And where does this stand in regards to what we thought of Bill Belichick and what we think of Bill Belichick? Where would a Cal victory land on that? I mean, we both love the quarterback at Cal, but this is a team that also got shut out at San Diego State. We're talking about Cal. So if this is a Cal win over North Carolina, where does this sit in regards to, it's that bad for Bill Belichick?
It just gets worse. I mean, that's for sure. There's no getting better with losses for North Carolina. And when it comes to, making choices to strip you of any argument that you might have been the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick is providing his critics with all the ammunition that they need. That, you know what? There's no doubt you were a good coach, but you were only propped up great by Tom Brady. Like
Brady's got this walk-off Tampa Bay moment that will forever stick with me. So that's going to be a long time. I will say college football.
But if that didn't do enough to erode your opinion of Bill Belichick, it would be Bill Belichick. And don't tell me that you need all these years to maintain or lay down a culture. The North Carolina football had a culture that was, literally on par with Alabama compared to what Indiana was culture-wise. And look what Cignetti has done instantly. If Cignetti has ruined college football patience and development the same way that Patrick Mahomes ruined quarterback patience and development, this one guy comes along and breaks the way the world is supposed to work. And now everybody wants the very rare one-off as standard operating procedure. It'll never be that,
You just answered the one question that I was going to ask, which is, even though you said this loss and each loss stacks more upon Belichick, is this season already considered lost because we know that from a culture standpoint that Belichick hasn't established who he is yet, and this is now a throwaway season because we're willing to say it didn't happen here, his guys aren't in here, he's going to get another recruiting class, they're going to spend more money, and then we're going to see the real Bill Belichick. But you just answered that question. You said, sorry, nobody has that leash anymore.
Well, somebody also said too, this is an awful lot on Bill Belichick maybe being embarrassed here for sure. What if I told you that Mike Lombardi was never a very good executive and isn't exactly the guy that you want putting together your NIL collective right now? Mike Lombardi hasn't assembled any kind of a talented team in North Carolina for Bill to coach one way or the other.
And together, collectively, again, that's largely Bill's decision to be with Michael yet again. And Michael had great years with Bill in that organization. But then Michael was also with the Raiders. And Michael, frankly, is somebody that I would love to still be listening to. Michael is great in this space, by the way. Lombardi's an amazing guest contributor inside the war room type guy. I mean, he is incredible at that. And I love watching him.
He's a better conversation than he is a guy actually doing it.
Right now, on paper, yeah.
Let me just say this, because there is a part of me rooting for chaos here and it all to fall apart for Bill and his hubris and all that. They're 2-3. This is hardly a chasm of losing that you cannot climb out of. Like, what happens if Bill actually goes on a little bit of run here and this is an 8-win college football team at the end of the year? Did he have a good year then?
Well, this is what we talk about. It's signature victory. See, college football, even though the playoff is expanded, no one can get away from the idea that we measure every college football team against opponent ranking. That's still, and I understand they've adjusted now to say that we're going to give you credit for losing to a higher ranked team, which is fine. It's about time that really officially mattered, but it's going to take signature victory, because right now all we have is signature losses for North Carolina.
Right.
Are they going to get a chance against an opponent at which we would say, there's Bill Belichick making the difference? Will that happen this season?
So look at it this way. As exciting and interesting as Sagapolatele and Cal has been, if North Carolina wins this game, it is not the signature win that will then change the conversation. No
chance. Indiana just had a signature win this weekend. That's what I'm talking about. Signature win is this team had expectations that you are ruining. That's a signature win.
Here's the problem. There is no signature win on the schedule. There's one ranked team remaining. It's a game they will host next week against 18th ranked Virginia. But they're at Cal, home to an 18th ranked Virginia team, then at Syracuse, Stanford, at Wake Forest, Duke, at North Carolina State. So there isn't a chance to even put up that, hey, the whole world noticed it win. They're going to have to back them. They're going to,
as you said. So guess what? So the 3 losses in college football, that does stick with you. That's it ain't there, and it means not only NIL, roster construction, schedule construction is to be considered moving forward.
But here's the thing: they're only 0-1 in the ACC. Okay, and the ACC looks kind of wide open. I'm not saying that something is about to happen.
But well, then how about this? Okay. But what you are saying is that signature win is not on the schedule, but potentially could they win the conference and make it in, then that signature win would certainly be there.
Maybe. By the way,
you're saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance. If UNC wins this game, Wilcox will be out next season. Look at this way. Justin Wilcox is not operating in a you lose the wrong game, you're gone, buddy world. Not at all. Justin Wilcox is one of the
better. Program. Wait, say it. Or program. It is not that kind of sensitivity at Cal. It's just not.
And here's the thing. Where is Wilcox in his contract? What would be his buyout? And if there is a number where Berkeley ain't approaching that.
And if he got you a quarterback that's worth watching every week, that's already a massive win.
Right. That's the thing. Like Sagapolatele, does he transfer if you get rid of Wilcox? The answer is probably here's the thing. He might transfer anyway. You never know. So,
but he's got the reins. I mean, he's got the reins here. So that most quarterbacks just want that.
But if money matters, I mean, we can go straight into the transfer portal and point out how much more money is made if you transfer than if you stay, and it is significant. It is significant. Here's the thing. I don't know if Cal is ever going to be we are comfortable paying our quarterback $8 million a year. Miami is. Miami will pump that up to 10 if need be. So that's what will lead Sagapolatele away isn't greed
or opportunity.
Isn't a misled young man looking for more snaps anywhere. It's going to be what would lead him away would be an offer that no one would pass up. That Hugh Joski Bear himself would walk over and play football in Palo Alto if it meant, you're going to, that's the thing. Stanford will never pay, so you don't have to worry about him transferring there. But maybe. Did you just see? So Stanford just got a $50 million gift from some big hitting alumni who basically said, yeah, this is not for the athletic department or the girls' fucking field hockey team. This is for football. Okay. I really don't care about Olympic sports. Pick up a first fucking down. I'm writing a check for $50 million. Win.
Do you think Harbaugh's success everywhere else just burns Stanford bad? Right? Does Stanford just think in the back of their mind, was there anything we could have done? Because imagine the legacy he could have built.
The Niners more? Because Michigan winning a national championship before Stanford does was always going to happen anyway.
No matter what.
No big deal.
Yep.
But if the Los Angeles Chargers win a Super Bowl before the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan do,
yes, that'll burn.
Boy, the numbers are coming out.
That'll burn.
You don't want that, kids.
Get Trent Baalke on the line. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Just something you don't want, but is probably about to happen. Dude, the Dodgers are 9 good innings away from reaching their second straight World Series. And here's the thing. Ohtani's not even hitting. He's not even hitting.
He did have a triple yesterday, but it was a bit of a, I'm not going to say seeing eye triple, but it was sort of an excuse me swing that turned into a triple. And it's, Damon, can I also just say this? If the Dodgers win 2 World Series in the first 2 seasons of Ohtani on this deferred contract, no matter how outrageous it seems when he signed it, this is the greatest success story that baseball may have ever had. You cannot be more perfect on a signing than putting ink to paper and winning the World Series twice in those first 2 seasons. And
if the Dodgers twice the money to do it today, they'd still do it today. They'd sign him for $2 billion deferred today, knowing what they know now.
And it would be worth that money. And the ROI with that investment is the right business decision. That's the scary and ridiculous part of this whole thing. And
I don't think there's a better team at doing business globally in sports right now than the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And by the way, and now they're running the Lakers. I mean, that's how good they are at this. The Lakers said, yeah, you know what? Why don't you come over here and help us run this thing? Whatever you've done, whatever deferred payments you've made, because the NBA knows that the collection of superstars is the most important thing you can possibly do. And can we just talk about how quietly the Dodgers took 2 other MVPs and paired them with Shohei Ohtani? The fact that this lineup is Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Shohei Ohtani. The fact that Max Muncy is a throw-in to this team, that Teoscar Hernandez is a bonus for what he does to this team.
That Tyler Glasnow pitches until he's actually pitching for the Dodgers. I do.
How much money?
Dodger.
They are operating in a world that is George Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman are jealous about what they're doing. This is unreal what the Dodgers are doing.
5-1-0. He's on to something. Dodgers winning back-to-back is going to equal an MLB lockout.
Except the Dodgers will just open up their own league. They'll have like a live baseball league at this point.
They'll just play the Savannah Bananas.
Yes.
In football stadiums.
That's it. Or they'll join the NBA for a season. I mean, I don't know. It's so outrageous what is going on. And for our buddy JT the Brick, who used to try to challenge me on the idea that Ohtani, he might be the greatest ever, but he hasn't pitched at all for the Dodgers. He's going to pitch today in a game that could send them to the World Series. Let's just say that. He's on the mound with a World Series berth on the line. Now, granted, it's a game 4, not a game 7, but that's the reality of the sentence I just made. This is a moment for Ohtani, the pitcher, that is going to match Ohtani, the hitter, and he will be in the World Series in back-to-back seasons. That is the stamp that he didn't even need to be the greatest player of all time in this league.
Done. It's already done. To me, it's already done. He could get shelled tonight.
You're right.
The answer to who's the greatest ever, it's Ohtani. I even had Ray Ratto erode his not enough baseballs about compiling statistics. And I just said, okay, Ray, so if your argument is baseball is about compiling statistics, and because of that, Willie Mays, what was Willie's ERA? I think we're done talking, aren't we, Ray? Now, what was Willie's ERA? What was Willie's postseason ERA? How comfortable were they with him making postseason starts? Oh, never pitched an inning. Okay. This other guy's a Cy Young candidate and leading the world in every offensive, there's nothing left to discuss.
And stealing 50 bases.
We have touched the face of God on a major league uniform. Ohtani is the greatest baseball player of all time by a lot.
And you got to go to Dodger Stadium with me soon, Damon, because to see the impact that Ohtani's made as you just walk around the stadium and see the way the world has reacted to what he is and what he brings to the table and the kind of person he is. I mean, he's in what could be a brawl with the Padres because they're throwing at him. And he's apologizing at first base and begging his teammates not to come out of the dugout. That's who he is at his core. And frankly, go ahead, as many interviews as you want to have with his former bookie, which is fascinating content, I will admit. It's amazing. But the fact that essentially that story comes to be that he just put the money out there for his friend to cover his debt, doesn't that make him an even more likable character? If you had a best friend that would cover your $30 million bets.
Here's the thing. I still think he knew what was going on. I will never.
Well, wait, but there's a difference. Wait. Know what's going on or placing the bets are two different conversations. I agree he knew what was going on. He knew what was going on. And he was covering his friend's debt. Now, was he making those bets? Were those for him to make money on? That's where that's the fine line. And the bookie will tell you he doesn't believe that Ohtani was truly making the bets. Right. He does believe that Ohtani, he just can't imagine how that much money would move without you knowing what was happening. No one's going to not ask a question about those kind of transfers happening in their bank account. But whether he was in on the bets or not, there's so far no answer that says that is the case.
Here's the thing. I don't need my guy to be an angel. By the way, here still.
And he was an angel, by the way. Not a lot of playoff.
Barry Bonds was no angel. To the point where Barry Bonds was like a straight up destructive to his own team's ability to get along with each other kind of level of asshole that you've almost never even dealt with before. And that's why Ohtani dwarfs Barry Bonds as a better baseball player. Barry Bonds might have had better statistics, but in terms of who's the person, Barry Bonds was a fucking loser compared to Shohei Ohtani. So that's the truth. That's the truth. Barry Bonds made it hard to live around him. Shohei Ohtani makes everyone as comfortable as possible. There's a huge difference between the two.
I mean, Mookie Betts, do you understand that Mookie Betts is the best player on every team but the Dodgers? And he essentially had to come in here and admit for what he's seeing in front of him, but also just admit from a conversation standpoint that Shohei Ohtani's better.
By the way, Smiley Dan is all over it. Damon, you got that one wrong. Bonds was a pirate and a giant. He was not an angel.
It's true. Thank you. Although ask Tim Salmon, he did hit the longest home run that an angel has ever seen.
We have seen Shohei Ohtani show up in two different situations where there's a guy on his team who might be the other best, right? It happened in Anaheim with Trout, and Mike Trout went from being one of the greatest baseball players of all time to literally not even having his name discussed or used publicly ever again. I'm not even sure Mike Trout still plays baseball. Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, two guys who are without a doubt two of the greatest of all time. You don't even see them on their own team because of Shohei Ohtani.
I mean, first of all, who's got the
bets? Mookie Betts for him to just be like, yeah, dude, I got a championship level shortstop for you too. No problem. Here we go. That's unbelievable. Anyway, there's nothing left to say other than print the T-shirts. The Dodgers are about to go back to back.
I can't see a world in which that doesn't happen. The Phillies were. A lot of people said Phillies and Dodgers was going to be the World Series champion, and the Brewers could put up an adorable fight here. I don't see that. Who does at 0-3? Who does see that? And then Blue Jays or Mariners. I'd say the Blue Jays coming back will be nice. That'll feel like big bats. But after what the Dodgers did to the Yankees last season, what is it a better lineup than that? Think about what the lineup for the Yankees was last season when you consider Soto and Judge together.
If you're the Dodgers
and Stanton,
you just pitch around Guerrero and live with everything else.
Exactly.
By the way, I did say earlier this week that I am 100% on the Mariners bandwagon, that they are about to play the two most important games in the history of their franchise at home, and in complete Seattle Mariner fashion. They no-show in both games, limp-wristed, uncompetitive baseball. Seattle, all I can tell you is that you are going to gag this away. It's already over. You can put the Blue Jays in the World Series. There's no coming back from that. This series is now tied at 2. I'm not even talking about Game 4 because you just had Scherzer come out there and pitch it up your ass. I want to go back to Game 3 because here you are. You're in a situation where you can go up 3-0 in the American League, and you are playing in front of your going berserk bananas level, excited to be in this situation, home crowd.
Never been in this situation before, home crowd.
And the Mariners become, in that Game 3, the first team ever to allow 18 or more hits, 13 or more runs, 9 or more extra base hits, 5 or more home runs, and allow a home run in 4 consecutive innings, throwing 3 wild pitches in the same game, regular season or postseason. In other words, in the history of baseball, no team has ever had an opportunity just hanging off a branch to be plucked and quite pissed down its own leg like the Mariners. That's who the Mariners are. The biggest group of when it matters most will be nowhere to be found. When it matters most, when the bell rings, there's no chance they're going to answer the door. They're not even going to make it to the door. He was at the front porch. Like they're just, the Seattle Mariners are baseball's biggest never met the moment franchise I think we've ever seen.
We all go back to the season with A-Rod when they won the most regular season games in baseball. And unfortunately, the Yankees were their nemesis then, and it happened all over again. And we will always go back to that. I mean, that collection of talent on that team, to consider Griffey and A-Rod together, to know what that could have been, and to see it just absolutely fizzle away. I'm sorry, that stain is just forever there. And I'll give credit. I think Cal Raleigh, and you don't have the benefit of now knowing the postseason, but Cal Raleigh, I largely said it. If the Mariners as a playoff team, I thought Cal Raleigh should be the MVP. I mean, Judge is likely going to win this AL MVP, but Cal Raleigh really came back to make that interesting, didn't he? Well, Cal Raleigh really did.
He is the one guy who is even more than Judge, the straw that stirs the drink for a very, very good baseball team.
Yes.
And he probably, conceptually, anecdotally, is the MVP. Statistically, it's Aaron Judge, and it's easy.
And that's always, the writers, as we like to say, which now who even knows what that means. Let's call them the content creators. I mean, at this point, it's who's voting on this. I mean, everybody who writes now is doing exactly what you and I are doing. But the quote writers who are going to vote on this usually side with historic numbers. But baseball has been open to new numbers and new metrics, etc. And there are ways that you can talk yourself into Cal Raleigh. And a lot of fans like the new guy more than the guy that's been there. So I think there could be more to this. Maybe. And I don't think being a Yankee means the same thing that it used to.
How about this? If they give it to Raleigh, I will not lose a wink of sleep over it. I'm good. I'm good. No. And look at it this way. If they do, that's going to be the only thing any Mariner wins all year.
I love what you said about it. And for cities that it hurts. And you and I like to say it's tough to get here. It's tough to be in the Final Four of baseball. But it's the 2-0 with 2 wins in Toronto that makes this a conversation. You nailed it.
Yeah. Set up as you could not set it up better. And then to have the moment and just literally like lay down on home plate and say, just piss on me. It's terrible. What do we got? Only one super today. That's it. What a cheap audience. Hi, Damon and Sammy. My birthday is tomorrow. I turn 29. Well, happy 29th birthday to you. And if you don't mind me saying, happy birthday, Sam Batesh.
Oh, Damon, thank you so much. October 16th, technically, this is the 17th, and happy birthday to our super. But yes, what a beautiful birthday it was. I spent it at Crypto, watching Kings hockey, talking about Kings hockey. I got to say, sometimes in life you realize the best gift in the world is what you're doing professionally. That's a pretty amazing gift to realize in the moment. So I was pretty psyched about that.
I used to absolutely subscribe to that. And then 2 years ago, I was kicked in the dick with a bag of nickels. And here we are.
It's good to see you, Dave.
Here we are. It's great to see you. And you're the only birthday I want to acknowledge. That's how important Sam is to everything we're doing around here. Sam's birthday yesterday is officially today's birthdays. We move on to the rest of today in history. Today in 1860, it's the first time they played the Open over in Britain. You know it as the British Open. It's called the Open Championship.
The Open Championship.
First one played today at 1860. Today in 1931, Al Capone got him. Tax evasion. Wasn't the murders, wasn't the bootlegging, wasn't the liquor, the women, the nothing. It was the tax evasion.
And that's a lesson to everyone. That's a lesson to everyone. When you think you got everything buttoned up in life, make sure there's not something dangling out there, because they'll come for you. They will come for you.
Today in 1956, it was maybe the best or the only important moment in the history of chess. You had Bobby Fischer winning the game of the century. It was played in what? Did they play that? Where did they play that? They played it, I think, in Iceland or something like that. Donald Byrne and Bobby Fischer played a game of chess labeled as the game of the century, and Fischer won, which made him the Tiger Woods of freaking chess.
There's no one even to speak of, right? I mean, there just is not.
Name the other guy. Who's the Gary Kasparov is the only other like chess player I can name other than Bobby Fischer.
And then again, if you had someone on a lie detector and you said chess Queen's Gambit is going to be the number one thing that somebody says, right? I mean, it's Bobby Fischer and Queen's Gambit. That's it.
Well, she has great eyes.
Yeah.
What eyes on? What's the name of that actress?
Anya. Anya. I'm forgetting her last name, but yes.
The eyes are the window into the soul. And the house bunny?
Yes.
The nipples are the eyes of the face or something like that. What is she? I don't know. Anyways, we move on to today in 1965. They said, that's it. Wrap it up. We're done. From 1964 to today in 1965, the New York World's Fair happened over in Queens. Over 1 million people attended that event in the 60s. That was huge. Today in 1966, all of NBC News programs began airing in full color. There you go.
Congratulations.
You want to talk about getting, we're going to join the full color party. NBC did it first. I have without a doubt buried the lead, which we will get to next.
I'm excited. Drum roll.
But Sam, we never go over songs that were numbered because we would get lost in that.
Sure.
All today in history would just become all about the songs that we love.
The hits from that year, for sure.
But we do need to acknowledge.
Please.
Because this song is not only the perfect score for the movie, not only was it a perfect movie, not only is this quintessential 80s, not only is this a great song, not only is this checking the box of yacht rock as well, but I gotta tell you, today, the number one hit in the nation was Arthur's theme, The Best That You Can Do by Christopher Cross. And all I'm gonna tell you is if you're in New York City and you're holding hands with a girl and you're in love and you get the, when you get lost between the moon and New York, it is so romantic. It is everything that romance in New York and awesome warm evenings in Manhattan could be, should be, the promise of it all. That's a great song. It's a great movie. It is, no one turns that song off when it comes on your radio. No one.
No, that is a volume up. And I got to give credit to Family Guy, who brings Christopher Cross into numerous bits of theirs just out of nowhere. They drop Christopher Cross in. And for those that don't appreciate Christopher Cross for what Christopher Cross is almost a genre in and of it. Is there anything about Christopher Cross that when you hear it isn't just immediately that one thing, that one sound? It's not, Christopher Cross isn't akin to somebody else. How hard would it be to describe or pitch what Christopher Cross is? Because most things in life are, well, it's the Brady Bunch meets Miami Vice, right? Like any show that you're pitching is that. And like Christopher Cross is not even the intersection of two different people. It is just that.
There's only one, man. There's only one. He was a comet that came into the music world, flamed out quickly.
Hey, it's okay. Man, that's okay.
If you take away, Sam.
Yeah, let's please take those hits off the board.
If you take away Run Like the Wind, Sailing, and Arthur's theme for Christopher Cross.
Let's flush albums and then talk about what somebody did. Yes.
What's he got? I told you I buried the lead. We could have done our entire show on this alone. Today in 1989, the Loma Prieta earthquake interrupted Game 3 of the World Series of Candlestick. Today in 1989, it happened.
So if you told me that the A's and the Giants were going to play in a World Series, you tell me, well, that's not going to happen unless a meteor strikes Earth. And that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
We got Bay Area Super Bowl and the world is revolting. I mean,
what's amazing is you see some of the footage of the way those light sconces were shaking at Candle. It's amazing.
The bridge is
that rim at Candlestick didn't collapse. It is amazing that dumpy ass stadium didn't fall over in some regard that day. They don't build them like they used to. They didn't make her pretty, but they made her strong enough.
And you cannot drive that bridge. You cannot drive the Bay Bridge without
it's a little bit easier because the part that collapsed is no longer there, right?
Okay.
The cantilever section, the Oakland side of the bridge is no longer there. But yeah, I can't drive under the stacked deck of 280 as you're coming into San Francisco. I can't be under anything driving and not think of, sure hope now's not the time.
And here's the thing. You don't even, if you're not in traffic, you can speak the story out loud. You can tell people, oh, this is right. Like you can relive that with someone. If you're driving to San Francisco for the first time with someone that's not there and you're taking this ride, you can tell the story if traffic is moving. If traffic is stopped, you cannot speak it out loud.
No, you don't talk about it. You don't talk about it.
Just
all I can tell you is SG Sports Talk. I'm a big fan of you. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday yesterday to Sam Boney himself. And I just hope that everybody watching has a great weekend. We're about to put up the studio for the watch party on Sunday night for Falcons and 49ers. Go ahead, please hit like and subscribe if you would, and not miss a thing that I do over here on Damon Bruce Plus. Like and subscribe to Thinking Out Loud with Siciliano and Sam. Don't miss a thing that they're doing. Don't miss a thing when Kings are playing. He's got your post-game show. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this today. Eat at Ike's. Have fun with Sleeper. Go to the Dubliner West portal when you need a perfectly poured Guinness. And all I can tell you is that this has been an awful lot of fun. Sammy, I want to give you the last word. What do you got?
Thank you so much, Damon. One quick one. It's a shame if J.J. McCarthy gets on the field. I was really looking forward to seeing Carson Wentz play against the Eagles with the Vikings and the Eagles this weekend. It's not going to happen. I think your game of the weekend is going to be Niners and Falcons. I think that is an old NFC West throwback with both teams as relevant as ever collectively. I am so looking forward to that game. Watch out. It's going to tell the story of who's for real this season. That is the game to circle.
It is great to have everyone here. Thank you so very much for watching. And please do remember that sports, they don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, they're gone.